If you knew that drawing near to God meant not acceptance, but potentially instant condemnation, would you still approach? This woman didn't just come for a secret healing. She didn't stumble in by mistake. She wasn't pushed by a crowd. She knew exactly what the consequences were, and she chose to walk in anyway. She entered a place where she had no right to be. At the very moment when the crowd was densest, when she was most likely to be discovered and exposed, she reached out her hand, and then time seemed to stand still. Jesus stopped. In the New Testament, the touch of Jesus was never a gentle background gesture. It wasn't a touching moment or a religious healing trope. Every touch was a moment where the rules were torn apart. Today's story comes from Mark 5:25-34. But the point isn't the healing, it's who is worthy to approach God. The cold, brutal background truth. Mark says, this woman had suffered from a discharge of blood for 12 years. Today, we call it a disease. But in first century Jewish society, it was a 12-year-long social death sentence. The law decreed, she is unclean. Where she sat was unclean. Where she slept was unclean. Whomever she touched was unclean. Not because she had sinned, but because her very existence was defined as dangerous. What does this mean? She wasn't just someone in need. She was someone to be quarantined. 12 years. No temple. No public worship. No legal identity. She wasn't just ignored. She was forbidden. An incredibly dangerous thought. Then the scripture records an incredibly dangerous thought. For she said, if I touch even his garments, I will be made well. Notice she didn't beg. She didn't shout. No prayer. No dialogue. Because she knew all too well, if discovered, she wouldn't face healing, she would face judgment. She didn't want a relationship. She just wanted an outcome. She wanted to take the healing and vanish into thin air. Why did Jesus have to stop? Jesus asked a question that was entirely irrational at the time. Who touched my garments? The disciples' reaction was blunt. Teacher, you see the crowd pressing around you, and yet you say, who touched me? But Jesus knew this wasn't the crowd. This wasn't a collision. This was faith. Reversing the direction. The moment the system flipped. In rabbinic culture, the rule only went one way. The unclean defiles the holy. But with Jesus, the direction was completely reversed. Holiness consumes the defilement. It wasn't that she contaminated Jesus. It was that Jesus took over her shame. He didn't let her be healed in secret and slip away. He made her stand up. Why did he make her stand out? Because what she needed was never just physical healing. She needed the restoration of her identity. If she had just walked away, she would still be the woman who couldn't be seen. She would have continued to live in the shadow of, I am not worthy. So, the woman came forward trembling and told him the whole truth. Then Jesus spoke the words that changed her life forever. Daughter, your faith has made you well. This is the only time in the New Testament that Jesus publicly calls a stranger daughter. Conclusion. The real question. So, the question is never, are you clean enough or worthy enough to approach God? The real question is, when God stops for you, do you dare to be seen? Looking for a different perspective on the gospel? Follow me as I unpack the rule-breaking moments of grace every week. Like and share to help others reclaim their identity as His children.